screw it. I mean, comic book readership is so low these days. Just do whatever. At this point, I'm like, do whatever. And then maybe something sticks and we roll with it, you know? But I can't believe I forgot to bring that up. Anyway, let me know what you thought down below. Once and always. Hang on. I need a sip of water for this one. All right. Where did I begin? I've taken time to think about this since I last talked to all of you, which was Thursday. Hey Archer Live, 8:15 p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. I have since watched other reviews of the show. So I watched it. I then went, what was it? I watched Mando first. Then I started watching this. And I was bored. So I stopped. I got home from Maine. I finished it. And then I sat on it for a while. And then I did the show on Thursday. So since then, I've watched other reviews. I've seen the Easter eggs on it. I've seen, the ways that this was more mature than the other iterations of Power Rangers, all that stuff. Last Tuesday, whatever we did the show, it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. We didn't do it Monday last week, but last week's Nerdy Coffee, I said, just in time. Just in time. Last week I said, do not be too harsh on this movie because even Karen Ashley said in her interview, actually with Legacy, because I think a question was asked like, oh, I hope you guys explain like why your character is here and this other character, blah, blah. And she was like, it's not that deep, essentially. And I said last Monday, I was like, or Tuesday, this movie is not that deep. Go into it. Just take it for what it is, as nostalgia, as just, it's Power Rangers. Power Rangers never had the best acting. It never had the best anything, but we love it. So take it as it is. I feel like I gave it either a lower score. Oh, sorry. I think I gave it a higher score than it deserves, being a 5. But I also wonder if other people are just giving it too high of a score because of the nostalgia. I think when it comes to this special, I know that it's got a 92 Rotten Tomatoes, number 3 trending on Netflix. It not having Jason David Frank, Austin St. John, and Amy Jo Johnson is the biggest L you could have given this special. Absolutely the biggest L you could have given this special. I understand, and it's funny. You kind of said it before I did. They did a good job with what they had. I understand that, and I don't disagree with that. Like, you needed the front. Like, this would have been weird if the main characters in the show, in this movie, were Catherine and Rocky. Like, that would have been. Oh, sorry. That would have been weird to me if, they are 1A, 1B to Trini's daughter, because they weren't even with her. So I understand that angle I'm good with. You needed David Yost, a.k.a. Billy, and you needed Zach to be the mentors to Trini's daughter. Get it. I get it. But if you're going for the nostalgia push, you're going for, we're going to be releasing figures for pre-order, but releasing figures simultaneously to the 30 anniversary of a franchise. Open the fucking vault. You cut whatever check you drive to Jason David Frank's house. You drive to Austin St. John's house. You drive to Amy Jo Johnson's house. You fly. You know what? Hell, you fly a private plane to their residence, each respectively, and you bring them a tribute. The tribute is a suitcase full of money. And you say, hey, this suitcase of money, first of all, this is just to right the wrongs of the past. But secondly, I need you to get on a plane and we need to figure this out. We need to figure out how to get you on the show. Was it cool to see Zach yell it's morphing time? Was it cool to see Billy yell it's morphing time? Of course. Of course. But it's not the same. It's not the same. I needed Jason to yell it's morphing time. Hell, I wanted Jason to yell back to action. Like that, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, yes. That would have been cool.
It's morphin' time. That's what I'm fucking talking about.
I did see, though, I saw when she said that money wasn't an issue, but I think she's lying, personally. No attack on her character or anything like that. But everybody has a price. Everybody has a price. For Jason, you know, R.I.P., Jason David Frank, he was Power Rangers. And if you cannot get him on board, you got to figure out, how do I get him on board? So JDF had agreed before he saw the script. He had actually negotiated higher pay for everyone before he said he wasn't going to do it. So it's one of those, like, I don't, like, if I'm doing the special, if I'm Netflix, like, I don't care. Like, what do you want? What do you want? This is a one-off. It's a one-off. What do you want? Like, and I understand there could be a wild take. There could be a wild, you know, all right, I want 100% rights to all the residuals on this special. No, sir. Like, we're not doing that. I want 100% residuals on all the figures sold off this show. All right, we're not doing that. But how much do you want? Tell me how much you want. Because the production costs weren't wild. Again, they went to New Zealand. We all saw the animation. The animation wasn't like anything crazy. It's pretty standard to Power Rangers these days. So, like, what do you want? How do I get you back on? And I hope that's right. I hope we did get them all more money. They deserve all the money. At the end of the day, the cast of Power Rangers, you know, things are what they are nowadays. I don't know. We'll find out, I'm sure, 20 years from now that these people in the last 10 years got screwed. But we know for a fact that Mighty Morphin through Turbo was screwed. That we know for a fact. So do what you got to do to try to make it right. Give them some money, just even as a thank you. Like I said, pay them to even just sit at the table and say, how do we make this work? But I do want to say as I end my soapbox rant here on Once and Always, this isn't a Last Dragon. This isn't a Last Jedi scenario. This isn't a Andor scenario. This isn't like one of those where if you liked it, I think you're on crack. It's not that. I don't think anybody who left that show, that movie, and said this was the movie I always wanted. This was the special I always wanted. I don't dispute it. I fully let you have that opinion. Because I could see why you liked it. I could see why people were just happy to have Zach, Aisha, and Rocky, and Adam, like, in the same shot. Like, yeah, Rocky too. Like, having them all in the same shot. Like, we never got that before. We never had Kat yell out pterodactyl before. Like, I understand, or what was it? Yeah, she didn't yell out. She used to yell out Pink Ranger power. So I understand those things, and I don't attack you for liking the movie. I just think the movie didn't hit the way it could have, and it didn't get the casuals the way it should have because it lacked the heart of the original 5. And the script was written, JDF was still alive at the time. So yeah, it's around Trini, which I thought good angle, liked it. Heart, it pulled the heartstrings, especially the ending scene where they sing the song, pulled the heartstrings, all for it. But I still thought the overall was an L. Sorry, last thing that pissed me off about that movie from a creative perspective. 2 things. One, the weapons there looked amazing, and I'm mad we won't get those as actual Lightning Collection figures. That pisses me off. They look dope. Like the lances looked amazing. And I'm like, Hasbro, what the fuck? Like, why didn't you... That we should get those. Give us lances that look like those. The Power Axe, same thing. And that pissed me off. But 2, the most egregious thing when the show started, they fight on the mountainside. Trini eats it. They're yelling in the house. The daughter sees them. And they decide to time jump 1 year. They all look the same. They're wearing damn near all the same clothes. And she's like grown so much in that year. And like, she's like a better martial artist now or something. On brand for Power Rangers, being that cheesy, on brand, but you couldn't change their hair. you couldn't like change their hair. You couldn't add makeup to make them look younger and be like 5 years, or hell, do like a Kill Bill thing. Like, they have different hair, different clothes. She's dead. How are we gonna tell Min? Min walks in. Min's like 7, and then now they're older. Now she's older. She's been training for 7 years. Hell, she's been training for 7 years on her own. Comes back into their lives, and they're like, "Hey, now's your time to take on the mantle of Power Ranger." Because they were also like, "You're a teenager, you can't be a Power Ranger." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" like that was you guys. Anyway, she comes back. They're like, "We want you to be a Ranger. We want you to take on the Saber-Tooth Tiger." And then she's like, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to get revenge." And then the powers don't work because she's all revenge driven. That makes sense. But they're like a year passed, and I was like, that was stupid. Just cut that whole scene out. Don't say it was a year. Just dump that. Sorry. I like that Billy was gangster, pulling his blaster and impaling the robots. Yeah. No, that was cool. I think we mentioned it on Thursday. Was that the first time that they ever pulled the blaster not morphed? I liked it. You couldn't tell us Gideon was dead or not. Yeah, because they're not sure. Even they're not sure. Anyway, I can go on forever. Thank you all for dealing with my rant. Let me just check my notes one last time. I think we got everything.